Hey, welcome to Lawfully Chaotic, Season 4, Episode 24. Hi. As with me, as always, is Jason, the storyteller. I still have not won.
You're right. You're right. No,
not
other
for
way.
Me.
Yeah. Well, you've
That's
got a weird
right
camera. There you go. Yeah.
Am I still reversed?
Yeah. But that's okay. Continue. No one cares.
Silence. Well,
that's not true. There's one person on. That one person might care.
There's one person. Hey, hi, welcome. As with me always is Jason, the storyteller from TTRPG Academy, and Kristen from Kristen's Epic Adventures.
Jazz hands.
Kristen, jazz hands.
I am Brian from RPG and Company, and we're here to talk about nothing important. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching in VOD after the fact, if you indeed are.
Oh my God! You know what Brian deserves right now, Kristen? Do you want to know what Brian deserves? That's what
you found the new sound.
Round of applause.
Yeah, that was not my stream deck. Now sound effects built in,
or he, or we know how he really feels.
Yeah, it's kind of more like it.
Sorry, wait. There it is.
There we go. Yeah.
Valid these days.
Yeah. Announcements. I got, more of the same. Busy. And it is interfering with my, it's funny because I'm doing like a lot of my work now, almost all is within the game community, which is awesome.
That's fantastic.
I do have one client.
About time.
Yeah, well, not all of it. I do have one client. There's a big chunk of work, which is a weed company, so that's not a bad thing either. So basically, it's all fun games for me right now. But
a little too much fun.
You know what? I'm actually going to save what I'm going to say, and that'll be my piece tonight. Because sometimes a lot of people.
Is your weed company that you do business with? Are they called Fruit? By chance?
No.
Fruit.
It's called True Leave. No, not Fruit.
It's like, what are yeah, these are gummies. Why are they letting all these hopheads onto the public airwaves?
Hey, we got that stuff in Florida too. You just have to have a medical card for it.
Oh, no, actually, True Leave is based in Florida, Kristen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're one of the bigger.
What's the name of it again?
Right here, baby. We could walk into a liquor store and we can get our 357 and our 420 all behind the counter at the same time.
Wow. Well, we can't go into a liquor store. We have to go into a dispensary, but there's like 3. I could spit on 4 of them from my house, practically.
I've got this great guy on the corner who does it for me. So,
Oh, Fentanyl Joe. Yeah, I know him.
Oh, dear.
Guy on a fucking corner. What the fuck?
Well, you got to stay awake somehow. I mean, this hand isn't going to shake all by itself.
Yeah, right?
Not everybody in California did coke to stay awake.
No, that's a New York thing.
Oh,
that's a New York thing. Yeah,
it's very much a New York thing.
California shrooms, although that's not really stay awake. When did this become like drug charge? Right. So anyway,
I keep telling you,
stay in school. Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Stay in school and play games.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I got no announcements. I'm gonna save it. So.
Man,
it's busy. Although what I was doing right before the show, I did finally pick up a paintbrush for the first time in ages, and I'm painting.
Hey, did you stream your painting on Monday and I missed it again? Did you stream on Monday or no?
No, and that's part of what I'm going to talk about in a few minutes.
Okay, and I don't feel bad because I didn't miss it. I was like, I gotta go to bed, and I was laying in bed, and I was like, oh shit, I hope Brian's not streaming his painting.
No, you did not.
I did something very rare. I have taken Friday session off, and we already have Sunday session off because we're wrapping up the summer break. So our Sunday morning session will be back next week. I only have Sunday evening at 4, so I will be going to Strategicon Friday Be there Friday, Saturday, and coming home
Day early.
Monday. Yeah, so I get to go a day early, which my
Fun.
partner in crime, she is very happy about because, you
Mhm.
know, if I'm bringing a whole kit to play a game, what's the chance she's going to be like, well, your stuff's already here and we're in the hotel room and no one's doing anything. Let's just play around to Daggerheart, please.
Dude, it's
So-
LA. Fucking drive home.
Yeah, it
You're
only
an
takes an
hour
hour.
away.
Yeah, it only takes an hour.
Right.
But you know, yeah, so I'll be at Strategicon Friday and Saturday till Sunday morning.
Awesome.
Saturday from 9 to 12, I think. I am
Mhm.
running a Daggerheart table. I've already got
Nice.
it sounds like the table's already full, so
That's
I do
cool.
not
Sorry, I'm
have
having a
to worry
major
about
issue
that.
with my my water thing.
Your water broke?
But
You
my
see
wa-
that? His water broke. I
Oh,
knew
it's
it.
all-
Wow. Get Guinness.
His
it's all on
his
my little printing
his
table.
man opazzle water just broke. That explains
Yeah.
everything.
That would explain everything. If only.
I'm still undecided on PAX
Oops, forgot
Unplugged.
to turn our chat on. Boom, there we go.
I
Right.
I did
And we have
book
to
a
repeat everything
hotel
that
room
shows up.
for
For
PAX Unplugged.
PAX, that's right, yeah.
I have the hotel, but only because that you can cancel up to 48 hours before. So I'm still kind of on the fence. And I put in the time off request from work, which I got approved because that can also be canceled if I need to and I'll get the time back. I just I haven't bought
yeah,
the badge
you can cancel
or
it. I thought for a second there, my brain was like, they could cancel your time off? That's fucking lame.
no, I can cancel it if I need to and get
Okay,
all the PTO
gotcha.
back.
Gotcha.
So I'm still on the fence on that one. We'll see. I kind of want to go because I want to go to the Glass Cannon show again because they were so good at Gen Con. And I'm debating on getting one of the VIP tickets because you get to hang out with them for like an hour before the show.
You may not want to meet your heroes. You know how that goes.
Maybe, who knows?
I mean, they could all be back
You
behind the
realize that it's
scenes.
you
Hopefully
and
find that out by actually meeting them.
That's true.
You do realize that that's you and another 1,000 other people that are meeting them.
Yep.
Nah,
Not that many.
1,000?
Not 1,000. They don't even get
No.
1,000 at the show, I don't think.
Yeah, they
Show's
get
like
around.
100.
Yeah, they get around between 500 and 800, depending on which show they're at.
Right.
So-
And I think they do a
PAX?
limited number of VIP tickets.
No,
so-
not PAX itself. She's going to go see Glass Cannon, so she wants to get a VIP ticket to see Glass
VIP
Cannon.
ticket before the Glass Cannon show.
Gotcha. I'm tracking you now.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Clearly
Aye.
not.
You here? Are you here, Brian?
You guys can tell I'm off. I apologize.
No, it's just-
All right, well, let's get into it. I'll tell you why I'm.
Okay. What's the matter? What's the matter, Brian? Tell us all about it.
Anyway,
Wait, hold
so
on. Let me get my Care Bear. Where's my Care Bear?
You have a
Really?
Care Bear?
Um,
I
No,
think
I've
he
got a
just maybe he just
Yoda.
needs a hug.
I do have a Meeseeks from Rick and Morty over there on the shelf, but that's about as
Okay.
close as I can get.
hey, where would I be without Jason's empathetic mocking? I'd be lost, right?
All of that
all
is
about it.
self-contained up inside
So-
of this cranial cavern up here.
Yeah. So here's the thing. What are we talking about?
Why you're upset?
Oh yeah, why my fucking brain isn't working. No, I'm not upset. It's just it wasn't correct.
Okay, see,
Oh my
you didn't
God,
get to
dude.
do the logo.
Fucking A, dude. I saw that and my head almost exploded. And I almost, if I wasn't so busy, I was going to get on Adobe Illustrator and fucking design the logo for them and post it and just
There you
on
go.
spec and say, if you want this, you can pay me half of whoever the fuck you paid to do that utter garbage. And it'd be a win-win for both of us. So,
Hmm.
yeah, don't get me started on the Cracker Barrel design or corporate logo design. But no, it's interesting because like most of my work now, a good chunk of my work now, like I said, is within the game industry, which is awesome.
Mhm.
Totally not
Mhm.
complaining about that because that's been my goal. But I still have other clients, and those other clients are, more on the corporate side. And it's weird because when you work for yourself, okay, which is what
Mhm.
I've chosen to do, my whole career has kind of been flitting between freelance and full time and whatnot. But when I decided to finally, dump the full time corporate gig, in 2016, right before I started RPG and Company. It's a really good thing, and I wouldn't go back. I would never go back to doing it the other way. But when you work for yourself, you're kind of on 100% of the time, right? And
Yes.
actually, especially when you work from home and you don't have an office to go to off site, it's hard sometimes to turn it off, especially when a lot of your clients are clients that you're really passionate about. It's like, oh, I'll just jump on and I'll do these quick changes, or I'll get it to you tomorrow and I'll work at night and blah, blah, blah. And what I found, without harping on it too much, what I found is that, like I said, it's really tough to turn it off. And it's getting to the point where I'm starting to resent it, and I've got nobody to blame but myself. Like I said, I haven't picked up a paintbrush in like a month and a half. I haven't been doing any of the game design stuff, creative stuff, for my little chunk of the gaming community. I'm running one game right now. That's it. My second table decided to take a hiatus for a while. So, this is not like, woe is me, feel bad for me at all. I'm just kind of telling you why, I'm off a little. But the point of bringing this up is, corporate judgment, you work from office during the day and work at home at night. And well, that's one of the reasons I quit, because that's fucking bullshit. But it for yourself.
Yeah. Do you hear that?
No.
Okay. I'm just hearing myself after like a delay after I speak.
So the reason I bring it up is because a lot of people in our space, a lot of creators deal with this. And it's somewhat creative block, but you can have creative block just in and of itself. And you just have to work through that. But it's kind of creative block because I'm occupied with other things. And it sounds weird because, it's my schedule, right? But you have to be accessible to clients. And part of, one of the things that one of my strengths is always being responsive and, quick turnaround when deadlines are involved.
Sure.
Stuff like that. So it is
boundaries,
very
though.
hard.
You got to have boundaries.
You do. And I've been realizing that lately, and I've been trying to set them up. And I have started, like tonight, there was a whole mess of changes I could have done on some promo work for one of my clients. And at 6, I was like, you know what? I don't care. It'll get done tomorrow. And nobody's going to, the world is not. But it's difficult to set boundaries and still make sure that you are cultivating the creativity that kind of keeps your brain healthy, and it's hard to do sometimes, when you are doing your own thing. And I don't care if you're doing what I do, or if you are, trying to get a dice business off the ground, or if you're trying to run 10 tables a week, or if you're trying to, post videos, or write content, or whatever. It's tough it's a balancing act between doing that for enjoyment, doing it to further your own brand, and still being able to make a living doing, the other shit.
For sure.
So anyway, it's just something I've been struggling with lately. A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people in our space do struggle with it. If you do, it's hard not to, but you can't get down on yourself. You can't dwell on it. And you just have to give yourself permission. And it's funny because I've started using that term ever since I did make. Is giving yourself permission, not just saying, oh, I'm going to change this, or I'm going to change my habit, or I'm going to work on, this or that, or, a New Year's resolution, or whatever the fuck it is. There's a distinct difference in my mind. And I've I've been using that term over the past few years, and especially within this year, even with some people that I've been talking to in terms of brand strategy and stuff like that, is giving yourself permission to make changes and not feel guilty about it. That's what giving yourself permission is about. Not just saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this," but still have baggage involved. But look at the facts, look at where you are, look at what makes you happy, look at what you need to do, what you want to do, and how you can balance that. And like I said, give yourself permission to make those changes, and it kind of takes a weight off. It takes some of that either guilt or some of the stress or some of the weight off your shoulders.
Right.
And I found that approaching it from that mindset of giving yourself permission to do that and be okay with it is kind of like opening up a door a little bit. So just something I've been dealing with lately. I know a lot of us do.
Yeah, I have the same problem
in regards to creativity. My DM door is always open.
Yeah,
that's it. That's
as
my
far
portion.
as like making YouTube videos and stuff. I enjoy making the videos, but a lot of times, like, I have a hard time just like sitting on the couch, chilling, watching a movie, because I'll be like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. I could be making a video right now instead. I could get ahead on videos so I don't have to make one next weekend.
Yeah.
And then I'll beat myself up for not. But then I'll also be like, well, you know what? Screw it. I deserve to sit here and just watch a movie if I want to, and I can do that later. But then
you feel guilty for doing that because all this other stuff is flying around in your head.
Right. Because there's no schedule for that stuff, really. I'm the one in charge of getting it done. So every spare second, I feel like I should be working on it.
Right. And a lot of times, if you got enough things, I could be doing this, could be doing this, could be doing this, and you want to do something, but you just can't get that creative focus, then you do end up sitting on the couch, but not enjoying it. It's just like, well, shit, now it's paralysis through lack of motivation.
Yes.
I didn't even enjoy the movie that I just sat on the couch to watch.
Right. Last weekend, I was like, I'm going to make my video on Saturday so I can put it up on Sunday. And then Saturday came around and I was like, I don't feel like making my video today. You know what? I'm going to make it tomorrow morning. And then I was like, oh, I have a game tomorrow morning. Oh, that's okay. The game's over by 12 and I don't have to put the video up till 4. So I'll do it between 12 and 4. And then I'm rushing around between 12 and 4 doing it. And I'm like, why did I do this to myself? I should have just done it yesterday.
Welcome to Lawfully Chaotic. This is what we're
but I still got it done.
So anyway, like I said, that's kind of where my head has been at. If you notice my Instagram feed, it's been clips from the show, but there hasn't been much else on there lately. And like I said, I'm starting to feel guilty about that. I'm starting to resent that. So that's why, yes, it's all about setting boundaries and a proper work day, unless I really actually want to do some work. Like I'm working on a logo for Ivan. That to me, I did some of that work last night. That's relaxing and fun, so that, to me, that's the same as sitting down and working on a mini. But there are times where you just got to be like, look, I'm done. But just like I left the office, as if I left an office. I'm done. I'm home. Fuck it.
Yeah. True.
Anyway, so that's why my feed's been a little bit light, but I need to kind of switch gears and dive back into the creativity. So that's it. Next.
Yeah, I think when our Sunday game starts back up next week, you'll get a little bit of that headspace back. I think so, yeah. And that's another thing. I've skipped our game a lot of weeks in a row because it's summer in Chicago and you don't squander summer in Chicago. But that too, like, yeah, I feel like it's funny, even though I'm working on all this shit, I actually feel a little bit more disconnected from the game right now because I'm playing less, I've been DMing less, and I've been creating less directly for the game the way I want to. So
Yeah, playing helps
Well,
for sure. I think.
yeah, I mean, you just got to get back in that headspace. You'll find it.
Oh, I know. I'll
You'll
find
it again.
Yeah,
know?
I go.
Yeah.
One of my tables is off for like a month, and then the other one will be off the month of October. And then I was supposed to play in a game Tuesday night, and I couldn't because I'm still having problems with my roof. And
As in, someone took your roof.
By the way, I wasn't laughing at you. I was just laughing at 3 Miles comment. I just actually saw it. Jason is an anomaly. I mean, when you're a fucking Android, downtime doesn't matter. You just charge.
This is true. I just plug into a USB port and I'm good to go.
Yeah. There you go.
Now you are a prodigy when it comes to time management and multitasking. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I would agree with you only because it's one of the things that bothers me most about me is that I can't let go of time.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Even like it's always there when you're creative. I think it's a creative thing.
It's a little different for me. I calculate the value of time constantly. Is this 45 minute? You know what I mean? Like, is this 45 minutes that I'm doing this right now actually have value? You know, and then I recalibrate and I switch and I go, you know what? It doesn't. I'm going to go do something else with that 45 minutes because I manage that time in terms of the value that can be applied to things.
So let me ask you. So at its surface, that seems like a good thing. But if you dig a little deeper, I think it has the potential to be toxic because you're constantly doing that.
Oh, it's all about control. It's all about controlling your environment. And it's the best way to try to control your environment. That's why I have OCD, because my OCD exhibits in my need to control my time and my environment, which is why I'm the perfect forever GM, because I use that as a method to keep that under control.
So it's like constructive OCD.
Yeah, I in a way.
No, I'm serious.
You try to go home and you keep checking the locked door 25 times because you're convinced that you forgot to lock the door.
Oh, well,
so you walk to your truck, you go, check the door, you walk to your truck, you go, check the door, you walk to your truck. You know,
that's like
a real thing.
I know it is.
It's a real
let me
thing,
ask you, when you assign the value on time, do you ever give yourself, and I know for you, like, your work as it is right now, since you made the change to doing this full time, your work is also your leisure. But do you look at your time and you're like, well, is there value in this? I'm not accomplishing anything tangible, but I'm giving myself that mental break and relaxing and whatnot.
It's that horrible feeling that when you're out shopping and you're like, I could either buy that or I can buy a Starbucks for 12 days. That calculus of value, money, time, and everything. I think that's when you're self-employed, and I'm self-employed in two hustles, right? I'm self-employed in getting the Market Garden up and running, which we've had our very first year at it. And some would think that I've been doing it forever, but that's irrelevant. It is the first year we've done it. And then I've been doing professional GMing for 6 years. You know, I did a little bit of 6 months worth of contract work in the IT field that I'm trained in. But other than that, I am more than willing to only have to work 30 hours a week, knowing that I don't have to work for the corporate overlords anymore. Because to me, that strangled me. That nearly killed me, that lifestyle.
There's no doubt. I don't miss that at all, and I would not go back. That's not.
However, I do miss the convenience of their stupidity, is what I miss. I could literally not do anything for a week, and they still would have paid me.
Yeah, I can't claim that, because when you're creating art for that shit, it is.
I was a mid-tier director, and all I had to do was process data, which I do in an hour, and I made that data look like it took a week, and then I would just be, I want to make a homebrew goblin. What can I do here? I'm getting paid $80 an hour to make a homebrew goblin. This is
not for designers. That's shit rolls downhill when you're a designer.
But that's why I can kind of create different headspaces in our own, kind of way that
But
we value our time.
But you didn't answer the question.
I didn't?
Do you assign value to, like, do you ever just take an hour off and watch a fucking movie? I know you're not a TV guy, but just as an example, do you ever, watch a movie and be like, okay, this is the value of this time is me just decompressing, or are you still calculating and collating and you're like, nope, I gotta vacuum while I do this or something?
That's it right there. I will turn on a movie I intended to watch, and I'll sit there for 10 or 15 minutes and go, you know what, this is loud enough. I could hear it. And then I'll get up and go do the dishes. Right. And then I'll the movie's looking good. You know what? The floor looks terrible. I'm going to clean up the floors.
Yeah, I have to make myself go somewhere where I can't do that. Like I either have to go to the movie theater, or I'll go to an art museum or something where that is the only thing I can do at the time.
The closest I get to that feeling, Kristen, is when I go out to the garden. When I go out in the garden, there's no noise, there's no distraction, there's no music, there's no TV, there's no nothing playing around me. And in my head, I'm in a space of just evaluating the organic nature of something that I am just learning how to do. And when I'm in a learning phase, that's when I'm in my happiest phase. When I'm learning something new for the first time, that is my Happy Gilmore moment. That is my happy space. That
I was just going to say the key word is when you're learning to do it. Like I love cooking, but I'm not a good cook, and I'm not saying that modestly. There are a few things that I make pretty well. I'm not afraid to cook, but I'm not a fantastic cook, which is part of the reason that I like it, because, I turn everything into a hobby, and then it's like, while you're learning, it's fun. And then you get to the point where you're constantly overthinking the shit out of it. It becomes a little less fun and a little bit more tedious. And I've specifically not really delved into learning how to cook, because then I don't think I would enjoy it as much.
Right. I've heard this theory somewhere before too and I think I'm this way. I have a million different hobbies and I never master any of them. I like to do it until I've kind of got it a little bit, and then I switch. And I have heard therapists say that that's a dopamine hit thing. It's fun and exciting. You get the dopamine from learning something new and exciting in the beginning. And then once the dopamine kind of wears off from it, you put it down, you look for something else because you want another dopamine hit.
Yeah, you want that high. You want that creative high.
I've got a lot of hobbies, and I've become very good at a few of them. Have I mastered any of them? I don't know. So I'm somewhat along those lines, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is why I also sometimes I like learning new RPGs more than I like playing one that I've been playing for a long time. I get to a point where I get bored with the system because we've been playing it for too long, or especially if my character doesn't level up often enough, right? I get bored because I need some kind of dopamine hit change, and I'll just be like, I don't want to play this anymore. We've been playing this for a while. I want to learn a different game.
And that brings us full circle back to drugs.
Is that what I need to do? Play my game on drugs instead.
Well, I think that kind of brings us back to the subject I'd like to talk about. I don't know if you guys have been watching, reading, or digesting the amount of content that's been released around Campaign 4 for Critical Role. I don't know if you watched the Fireside. Yeah. There's the Fireside chat between Matt and Brendan.
I tried, and I don't like Brendan. I couldn't watch it.
So what's interesting is in the Fireside chat,
very nice person, I'm sure.
In the Fireside chat, Matt asks Brendan, "Why did we pick D&D?"
Oh, okay.
He asked the question, and Brendan answers it.
Okay, what do you say?
He basically said it's a familiar tool set. More people have played it. More people are comfortable with it. And it just made sense for the way that the tables are going to run, with a kind of West March theme involved in the tables. So all these pundits out there, talk show people in the gamer space, are like, we're never going to know why they did it. You just got to have an opinion, and you just never know why. And I'm like, no, you know why they did it, because Matt asked Brendan and he answered. So we know why they did it. the part that we're never going to know about is what part of the business decision influenced that choice, right? Like were you going to lose so many viewers because you weren't D&D that it wasn't worth taking the risk? If for some reason the new campaign has a reason for failure, if that reason is bad players or a weird world or people don't like the GM, like all these reasons, right? Well, if it's a Daggerheart campaign, no one's going to think of those reasons. They're just going to go, oh yeah, the Daggerheart sucked. Even though it really didn't suck, they're just going to make up that excuse because that's a front and center, kind of.
It's an easy thing to blame it on.
It's the easiest thing to blame it on.
So you think they did it so as not to subject Daggerheart to such an early litmus test?
Yeah, I think they did it for a lot of reasons. I think one, Brendan's right. The D&D system's familiar. It's not a huge learning curve for all their players that's going to be on the show. The people that watch Critical Role think of Critical Role D&D. So the core group of people that watch them to play D&D, and they know this, right? But they also know that Daggerheart's important to them. So, you got to think about, do you want to expose Daggerheart too early and therefore link it to a failed campaign and turn off viewers and then kind of get into this spiral that you can't get out of because the reality is you run a business. Right?
You make the Daggerheart shows a little more scarce and you play with the supply and demand.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much.
I didn't think about it. I can say with some amount of certainty, having worked with them, Critical Role does not make any decision lightly. Nothing they do is just like, let's do this.
And
everything
I
pretty
think,
much has a reason behind it.
And I think up to this point, Critical Role's been an entertainment company.
True.
And I think they're now, by hiring the two bozos from WotC, they've kind of entered the realm of being a creator company, right? Designer company. They're now designing games, right? Whereas, WotC, where the two bozos are designers, they're bringing that to Critical Role now. But they're not entertainers. You know how I know they're not entertainers? Because they're boring.
Not entertaining.
They're as boring as non-fat milk. No matter how hard the cringe factor is when they went up on stage with that big black sweater,
turtleneck.
I was like, geez, wow.
It was very Apple keynote opening scene.
Yes. Yeah, it really was.
Super.
And that was incredibly freaking annoying, to say the least.
Yeah.
I think they just put that show up, or they're putting it up because I haven't seen it.
I forgot to bring it up here. They sent me. I got my copy of Solar Gardens, the game that I designed, worked on. That's
awesome.
So I forgot to bring it up here.
And there's got to be some honesty about the fact that they're not really playing West Marches. What they're doing is that they're thematically playing something.
Explain what West Marches is for people in case they don't know, because that has been thrown out a lot, and a lot of people
don't really know.
So what West Marches is, it actually came out
like a drop in, drop out kind of thing.
Well, it's more than that. It really is
sandbox kind of player driven. Go ahead, Jason.
So it's really it's its own system. It really is its own system, and it started off as a public blog by the creator, where he was trying to come up with a way to get more players involved and to create players to have players become DMs and kind of create this idea of a societal table, this idea of a table that's more of a society, and get rid of the quests, get rid of the big bads, get rid of this constant need to be in a hurry to go and do something and do this. So, and actually West Marches is kind of an old medieval term. It's where the marquee comes from. It's the idea that you're on the frontier lands and you're facing unexplored territory. So the idea was to create a pool of players, a large pool of players. The GM doesn't have to do barely any design work, just kind of like minimalist design work. And it's the players that tell the story. The players come and show up for an unannounced session, and that session just kind of unfolds organically with the GM kind of either being the established GM or one of the players decides to be a GM. And these players collude with each other. And, it's all about the loot and the exploration. And when you do explore something, it's kind of about what do you turn it into now that you're in control of something that you've discovered on these frontier borders. So it's all about letting the minutia and the very fine-grained detail of the game kind of drain into the background. With West Marches, it's about how to just create this societal group of 50, 100 people, And if you really think about it, if you go back to the early 70s when the original D&D was released in the little yellow books, the opening rule set says to play this game, you need at least one referee. That's what they referred to GMs. They weren't even GMs yet. They were referees. And it's designed for 4 to 50 people to play. I think I'm getting feedback off you, Brian. And I'm getting a dog.
I don't have a dog, so it's not me.
Downstairs, but there's no feedback. I didn't touch anything, so
yeah, it was weird. I was getting a little bit of feedback, but that's fine. So West Marches.
Well, that's because the 4 to 50s, because they started as wargamers, tabletop wargamers, as well. So that was
I think the 4 to 50 player design description was because they were playing a game very similar to what West Marches is.
Well, right.
They were,
I would guess it had more to do with the fact that they came right out of the tabletop wargaming community. And
I don't think it has anything to do with that at all. I think it's the number one problem that goes over 54 years since the invention of D&D. How the fuck do you get a bunch of people together and play a game on time? And I think that was
shows up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was at the heart of their decision to put that in there. Help people understand. Go to try and find like 30 people that might want to play, and then maybe 6 will show up. Another weekend, try to find 12 people, and maybe 12 will show up, or 8 or 9, or some random number. And as those people show up, like eventually the same 4 or 5 people show up every time, and suddenly you have an established game, right? You have this core constituency that's showing up on a regular basis. What they're doing, they're running 3 tables is what they're doing. So that's not really West Marches. Thematically, they're running a giant open world with no established big bad. So it follows some of the theme of West Marches. But you have a table of slinks, you have a table of soldiers, and you have a table of saints. I think it's slinks, soldiers, and saints. So that's the type of characters they plan on playing, whether thematically that's the type that they're playing. And it is a sandbox game. So whatever one table is doing could negatively or positively impact the other 2 tables. So once again, that's thematically a bit like West Marches. But let's face it, Brendan Lee Mulligan is going to be doing a lot of physical work to make this happen. He's fortunate that the 18 players who are going to be playing are willing to do West March level player work to kind of give him a lot to work with. So once again, a little bit of that West Marches theme kind of bleeds into the idea of what they're trying to do. And because the world,
you said he's got his hands full or work cut out for him with physical work. Don't forget, they also have a multi-million-dollar production team.
Well, yeah, but a production team puts together the skin that you have to work within. I never worry about. I never
tables putting maps together. I mean, it could be. It could be.
I wonder what will happen with the maps, because Matt always used to do his own maps. And
I would imagine
Brandon will do his own maps, or if somebody will do them for him.
I would imagine that the tables that Matt's not playing in, Matt could keep a secret. He might make maps and do things for Brendan, or Brendan is making his own maps. Who knows what they're going to do? But I think what they've done here is pure genius. They've created just enough controversy to make it sound very interesting to people that probably never thought it was that interesting in the first place. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just enough to get into the headspace of people to say, at the very least, for the first few sessions, a lot of people are going to watch.
Yeah, people are going to be, I got to see this.
When is it? I don't even remember. When's the first September?
It's October.
Yeah.
I think it's Halloween, isn't it?
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
No,
it reminds me a little bit of when I used to play World of Warcraft. It's funny because, and this kind of goes along with Jason, what we mentioned lately about scaling back a little bit and enjoying the exploration. You know, the journey.
Enjoy the journey. Yeah, enjoy the journey. Yeah.
You know, it's like when you start playing World of Warcraft, it's like, fuck, I got to grind. All I want to do is get to end game level and do all that shit. And once I got there, I'm like, this stuff is boring as absolute fuck. I'm going to create a new character. I'm going to grind again.
Yeah, because the journey was more interesting.
Yeah.
You know,
I did the same thing in like Skyrim. I was like, I want to go over here and pick all these little flowers because I can do stuff with them. And then after a few months, I was like, oh, maybe I should work on the main quest a little bit.
Yeah, Skyrim was, I enjoyed Skyrim a lot because that's the kind of sandbox I've always tried to offer up to a table. This idea of lack of urgency, this idea of not knowing who the real big bad is, this idea of conflict and harmony kind of playing out around you. This idea that, you accidentally left the gate to the undead open and they're now coming out of the gate. I don't live here, so we're just going to keep going. It's like I still got the jewel, this really expensive jewel.
Oh, fuck, did I leave the gate open? Did I not leave the gate open?
Whatever. I've got the gem, I've got the loot. I'm good. Someone else could clean up my mess. I'm just going to keep walking and journeying through the adventure. My Wednesday night group is a lot like that. My Wednesday night group is very, very much like that, where it's all about the exploring, the wealth, the journey. If they make a mistake, it's like they accidentally threw an entire kingdom into rebellion. They were trying to create like a sense of a distraction, So they drew up a bunch of posters that said "Down with the Protectorate" or the political factions, like "Down with these people, down with the king, down with the queen, long live the worker." And, they were rolling really good on their persuasions and their, stuff. And before long, it was like, the capital city is rioting and the king's been overthrown and, the kingdom has descended into chaos. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we're going to go ahead back over here and go do this other thing for a while. I love that sandbox stuff. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. I think me just telling the story, it puts a smile on my face, and
somebody else will clean up our mess.
Yeah, why not? I mean, the journey's the journey, the adventure's the adventure. It's you have real life available to you for your own mess to clean up. When you're adventuring in a world of fantasy and fun, I don't want to I see trash on the ground, I'm going to go pick it up and put it in a container. Do I get at least 1 XP for doing that? You
walk away from all the problems.
Yeah, I see an unconscious person in front of a tavern. What do? I'm not interested in the tavern. I'm just going to keep going. I'm good. Not my, not my farm, not my pig. Rummage through his pockets. I don't know.
Right. Let's loot the body.
I think
harvest his organs.
Playing Daggerheart now since its release in 3 separate campaigns, all of them being so far mini campaigns. The Wednesday 3:00 table. I've got 3 players on that table right now because 2 of the other players are on summer break and they come back the end of next week, and they'll be back to that table the following week. So I built a 3-part mini series of a Daggerheart adventure that they're playing. So we had session 2 this week, and one of the players died. And because the players
Blades of Glory, did he go out?
No, he said all in. He did the all in.
Oh, he did the roll.
Unfortunately, he rolled with fear. So I got to narrate how he died because the Blaze of Glory, the player gets to narrate it. The safe method of dying is just kind of you fall unconscious, and there's a chance you might take a scar. And then there's all in. So if you fail the gamble, right, and you fail, I got to do the death scene. But it was really cool because he had a lot of fun doing it. Like, he really played it out really well, and the other players had a lot of fun because one of the other players had a spell that I tweaked it a little bit. He had a commune spell. So he was able to like talk to the ghost of his dead player friend. And so the player's ghost got a chance to say goodbye to both of them before drifting off into the ether. And they built a cairn for him and did this whole thing. Well, when we took our 5-minute break, because we play for an hour and 25 minutes, then we take a break, and then it's time to finish the session. Well, during that 5-minute break, he built a whole new character.
Nice.
And so it was, and within like minutes, the new character was in play because they were in a goblin hideout, and they found this large giant of a person. So giant is a lineage in the game. So it's like, so not only did they find a giant who was tied up by goblins, but he used that as a way to create his own experience in his character sheet. Like, he's got an experience called Not Again. And the Not Again is he finds himself constantly paranoid that he's going to be tied up by goblins.
Oh, geez.
So might look like a goblin. He just goes out of control, and, and it is not ready for long form yet. I could say with an absolute certainty.
Yeah.
The Daggerheart is not
I have heard that
for long form yet. However, it is the perfect system for an anthology. It's a perfect system for short stories and 20-part series, a 5-part series, a 10-part series. It's also a great system for converting OSR modules, which is what I did for them. Is I converted an OSR module for Daggerheart. I figured, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to run a module. I very rarely ever run modules. So I took a module that was designed for levels 3 to 5, or
nice.
3 to 5, converted it, with the adversary system and the framework system, and converted it kind of quickly into a Daggerheart thing. But I ran it a little bit West Marchy with the theme where the world didn't matter, the kingdom didn't matter. They were just in this frontier town that was having a problem, and it was all about solving that particular problem. And they've been having a blast. They've been having an absolute blast playing it.
Nice. I think that's another reason I'm excited about it too, because I don't really I'm kind of tired of the long
Same.
campaigns. Things that go like more than a year.
I'd even rather have a stable of like 3 to 5 characters of my own, and it's just like, play this one.
I think when we talk about the Sunday campaign, Bri, I think we're going to probably discuss doing that, because one of the things I like about that method is it allows you to build all of these different characters, and they can all know each other, but they allow you to rotate in and out of them. We call them APCs, alternate player characters. This idea where you build these alternate characters that are familiar with your world, familiar with the idea of the campaign, but in an open sandbox world, maybe when you solve a particular problem somewhere in the world, it feels like a point of conclusion at that point. And you might say, great, let's all pull out these other characters who are going to be in another part of this world, and then they're going to play for a little while. So while you played, a monk, a monk for like 15 sessions, now you get to play, a wizard for another 10 or 15 sessions, if that's as long as it takes, or until the players themselves look at the GM and go, you know what, we're ready for our alternate player characters. It feels like a good time to say that these characters have kind of finished their own little arc, and they get to have some time dilation while these other characters are playing out in the world, So I think I like that style. I've been playing that way with 2 of my campaigns now for almost a year, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of creativity. There's a lot that the players do for their creativity. I like it. I like it a lot, and I think it, on top of using the system that gets rid of spell slots, using the 4 AP system. It just feels like D&D, but better. Like it just feels better for some reason. I don't know.
I know Blades in the Dark, and because I'm doing a Scum and Villainy game, which is Blades in the Dark in space. We have, and not that all the characters swap in and out at a time, but it's very common to have a secondary character, and just the action of indulging in your vice, which you use to relieve stress. If you overindulge, one of the options for that is to have your character go away for a couple weeks and you play your backup character.
Yeah, I love
You know?
that. Yeah,
Your characters in rehab.
Yeah.
Well, and since
what their vice was,
and since we're using the spellcasting system from Shadow Dark, you have to successfully roll dice to cast your spell. Well, if it fails, you then have to roll on the wild dice, the wild magic table, which I custom built just for the Monday game. And they're spending a lot more time hoping their cast fails just to see what cool shit happens.
Right.
Because it's a scalable list. Like on the low side, it's very bad. And on the high side, it's very good. So if you roll a 0-1-4, like if you roll a 1 through a 4, it's pretty bad. Basically, it's an arcane explosion, that goes off. And anyone within
my favorite
30...
mechanic in D&D is wild magic table.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It is. It's a lot of fun. Still allows you to roll on a table. Still allows you to have threats. And and watching a level 2 person cast a level 1 spell over and over and over and over again because they're not restricted by the spell slots, it's a lot of fun because it's just a lot of fun to watch casters be casters.
Yeah, there's nothing that sucks more as running out of spell slots in the middle of combat, and you're like, can we rest somewhere? I gotta rest.
I finally figured out why I no longer like spell slots. In narrative style play, there's a lot going on. So if you're in a narrative portion of the session, players feel like they have to conserve their spells. So their spells may actually help them in a narrative portion of the session. And because they feel like they have to, save those spells, they're not really using the full gambit of the capabilities of a caster because they're thinking beyond the narrative point that they're in. Right. It's like, any minute now they're going to ambush us. I need to save these spells. And then the narrative kind of suffers because of that. The narrative's not as interesting, or, it's like, then they avoid confrontation because they have no spell slots.
Right.
So it's weird.
I kind of like the idea. I don't like the idea of getting rid of spell slots completely, but I do like the idea of kind of along the lines of cantrips, but expanding that, which is the more like Dungeon Crawler Carl, if you think of that, if you've read it yet, the more you practice with that spell, the easier it becomes and the more rote it becomes in your repertoire. And eventually it does become like a cantrip where you can cast it without spell slots, but you have to earn that. It's not just a blanket. Like
that's interesting.
Yeah. So you need those slots and you need the practice, until it gets to that point, which I think it also could also fold in the adverse effect if you don't hit with the spell or the spell doesn't go off properly. There's potential. I know we've talked about all these new systems and the one system and all that, and the DC system and the 2 dice and the dice pool and all this shit. I still think there's potential for a really good system of just magic spell rules that could be slotted to whatever.
Any game?
Yeah, not necessarily any game, but just that could be a part of one of these bigger endeavors to write an entire game, whether it's Daggerheart or DC-20 or Cosmere or whatever. But yeah, I think there's a lot of, the same thing. See, this gets back into crunch, and it gets crunchier and crunchier. But
some crunch is fun.
But like even with martial weapons, or martial skills, same type of thing. The more you do it, the better it gets. In D&D, you don't directly level skills or, I mean, yeah, you have feats, but everything is very level based and your overall power goes up, as we've talked about. But it's like, okay, I use my rapier constantly. Why aren't I getting really good with that? You know, but when I pick up,
because you're already good with it. There's no journey for it. You're already good with it.
I mean, there's no journey. So I'm saying there's a really cool journey for, and now that I'm saying it, it just goes back full circle to a skill tree, which is also part of your spell casting. And see, that's one of the problems with D&D is like you have your weapon stuff, and then you have your magic stuff, and then you have your skill stuff. It should all be based on your innate ability and your skills. Magic and fighting with a weapon and all that stuff is a skill, just like sewing or cooking or running 10 games of D&D a week.
I forget what company it is, but somebody has a game they're developing, although I think it's on the Kickstarter now, called Shift. I forget who made that one. And the point is the die shifts up and down. So it's like potentially as you got better at something, you could shift up to a higher die so that you have the odds of rolling better. You know what I mean? Yeah, but there are instances in that game where the die shifts down too, and I don't remember why.
See, that would be a very cool advantage disadvantage mechanic.
Right. I'm in their Discord and I just can't remember what company was putting that out. And it's been in beta for a while and they were like play testing. And then I think it just went up on Kickstarter. So we know how much you like to kickstart things, Brian. Why don't you get it?
No, I'm a little more after pixels. I'm more gun shy. But
as you should be.
Yeah. I want to develop a game that's got like 12 completely different rule systems. And the whole
if it's Monday, use this system. If you're playing on a Tuesday, use this system.
Like within a combat, like, okay, now I'm in combat. I'm going to use the dice pool. Well, and then this guy's like, well, I'm going to use the D20. I'm like,
all the players have a different one?
Same. Either you hit or you don't.
Use the one you want.
It'd be like this multiverse reality bullshit.
Oh my god!
I don't want to play that game.
Oh my god! Your head would explode.
That doesn't sound very fun. Well, we did it again.
We did.
Burnt that hour.
We did. Thank you. Thank you for hearing me out. Thank you for joining us.
We will validate your feelings anytime.
Well,
absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll be back next week, raring to go. The fact that I tonight said, you know what, fuck everything else. I'm gonna just paint some minis.
See,
use that. So hopefully that'll kickstart my brain to get back in gear.
Yes,
we all go through it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I'm still
okay.
Hard train.
But again, thank you for joining us. We will be back next week. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we should be here. Brian, where can we find you?
You can find me at RPG and Co on the Instagram or playrpgandco.com on the website of the internets. It's always one of the two, but Instagram is the best place to find me. Like I said, hit me up for the DM because I love to talk to people within the community. Kristen, what about you? Kristen, where can we find you?
You can find me at Kristen's Epic Adventures, either on YouTube or on the TikToks while TikTok is still around. If it goes away, then you're going to have to head over to YouTube.
Still in English before it changes over to Chinese. Jason, where can we find you?
You can find me over at ttrpgacademy.life or head on over to Linktree, TTRPG Academy. Do not bother with my socials unless you just want to look at a sad old man do nothing for months at a time, because I just am terrible at social media. Other than that, hey, Brian, tell a story.
Play a game.
Be kind.
Good night, everybody.
Hi, thanks for joining us.